We warmly welcome you to our community. In ancient times, our ancestors established, I can't even pronounce that, I'm so sorry, Metapanegiag at the junction of the northwest and little southwest Miramichi rivers. It is the oldest continuously inhabited village in New Brunswick. Come experience centuries of Mi'kmaq history and sample our rich cultural heritage. Have a pleasant visit. And they have a museum. This is out in the Red Bank area, folks. It was a rainy day, a beautiful day for a drive. But when you're standing here, you can just kind of feel the ancient ancestry and the peoples that first inhabited this land. Naka-si. This is their teepee structure on the land of that museum. And there's one with just the framing without the canvas. Traditional times, they were using animal skins. And they were nomadic, so they could pack up and leave whenever they wanted. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I'm on a Water Street on the Chatham side, and most of the music fans will recognize this fine gentleman, Mr. Paul McGraw. And this is his shop. This is a beautiful space. So Paul, you just played a tune for us. This is from. Can you just show me the album?
Oh, this is one of the LPs that was put out for the Miramichi Folk Song Festival.
That is a great title, a great cover. It reminds me of one of the band's albums.
Yep.
Just the look of it. A night at the Miramichi Folk Song Festival, and
this is old school festival. This is from the 1960s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a fantastic album.
Oh wow. You know what? If I ever make my way back to the Miramichi, and I have my record player here,
You got it.
I want that album. So this is the Miramichi Kitchen Party. Connie and Paul. Everybody knows them. And look at this beautiful space, guys. Like the music in here. Paul is a wealth of information. Stories galore. There's the local historian, Mr. Roger Como, going through some stuff. This man cannot stop collecting things. His house is being overrun. But Paul, this is a beautiful shop.
Thank you.
I really appreciate spaces like this. And I wish you had a show happening tonight, because I would be here.
Well, our season starts in June, so you'll have to come back.
Season starts in June, folks. Do you have a date yet?
June, I believe the first Miramichi Kitchen Party is going to be June 25th.
June 25th, folks. And can you just give a quick rundown of what the kitchen party is?
The Miramichi Kitchen Party is it's an hour and a half of interactive storytelling and music. We serve tea, coffee, and dessert. The music and the stories are all based on the history and the culture of the area. We try to ensure that the motor coach clients that we have get a good feel for what Miramichi is all about. They're only here for a short period of time. They arrive late afternoon, early supper. They have supper, come in here for dessert, tea and coffee, and the next morning they're gone. So we've tried to incorporate an element of small e-education. Tell people who we are, why we're here, where we came from, why we're planning on sticking around for a little while. So wow. It's a fun, very, very interactive, and we've been able to host people from literally around the world. New Zealand, Australia, throughout Europe, as far east as Korea and Japan.
Oh, wow.
And right across North America, as far south as Mexico.
Well, right on, Paul. The Miramichi needs spokespeople like yourself, and I'll make an admission right now. I grew up on the Miramichi, and I haven't really exposed myself to some Miramichi tradition and culture, and I'm sure the young people now, like, this is a space that I think young people would benefit from, not only from people from outside of the Miramichi, but our local Miramichiers. We're losing our
identity in some ways when it comes to that culture, and I'm very proud of the fact in the last almost 24 years now that I've had the store, that we have been a little bit of a resource for people, and of all generations. I've been involved in the music industry as a musician and entertainer for 35 plus years, but I've also been on the business side of things as member of the New Brunswick Music Industry Association, for example. I'm the founding president of that, the East Coast Music Association, and I'm able to give people a little bit of the insight of what the business side of it is, which can be a big eye-opener sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. And who is the first song that we're hearing here?
Well, this is, I believe...
Can you crank her up just a little bit, because we can hear that?
And the captain says he'll run her till the tank.
That is Mr. Alan Kelly.
Mr. Alan Kelly. Can you read out some of the artists that are on that album?
We have Alan Kelly, Charlie Slane, Marys Hair, Steve Heckbert, Harold Whitney, Velma Kelly, Francis Taylor, our driver Francis, Sandy Hogan, of course, Susan Butler and Jack Foley, Hubert Sweezy, Billy Brito on harmonica, one of the best harmonica players you'll ever would have heard, Mrs. Alan McDonald, and of course we can't leave out Mrs. Maisie Mitchell. She used to end all of the Miramichi Folk Song Festival performances with a song called Bonsoir mes amis.
All right on. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate the little lesson, and I'm going to be leaving back to Vancouver soon, but I'm going to make myself a regular visitor here.
I'm here. Just let me know, and anything we can do, you let me know. More than happy to do it.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Okay, so Paul, I just want you to give a quick introduction to the song Maddie's Cove. Who plays on it, where it was written, and all that.
Maddie's Cove is a co-write that Connie Doucette and I co-wrote with Dirk Stewart. And we recorded it here in Miramichi. We recorded it at Jim McDonald's studio, actually. And with some great musicians. Melanie included it on a compilation album, Melanie Ross. So we recorded it here. Connie and I do the vocals. I do the lead rhythm picking on it, and then Melanie added some keyboards, which she's an amazing keyboard player, and some background vocals down in Halifax, and it became part of the compilation that she put out about I'm going to say probably close to 10 years ago now.
Okay, right on. And the inspiration for the song was none other than
Matilda Murdoch. It's complete. It's a fictionalized version of what we felt epitomizes who Matilda is and was.
Okay, I'm going to drive around the Miramichi, so thanks, Paul, for the intro of the song Maddie's Cove, coming up right now.
There once was a woman, she lived by the sea, a dear friend of my father and me. She was known for the fiddle and the cut of her bow. The place she played was called Old Maddie's Cove. Maddie, dear Maddie, just rosin up your bow. Play one more tune just for the cove. The night is young, yet the stars have all gone. So Maddie, just play one more song. The cut of her bow was her sweetest caress. The licks we played, they were some of the best. Dad on his squeeze box and me my guitar. We'd walk along till we'd see Maddie's car. Maddie, dear Maddie, just rosin up your bow. Play one more tune just for the cove. The night is young, yet the stars have all gone. So Maddie, just play one more song.
gracias. Although we're not on the Miramichi, I was driving home from Moncton and I've been taking some back roads. And I remember as a kid this covered bridge. It's kind of close to the Rexton area near the big Cove, near Big Cove. This is called the Tom Graham Memorial Covered Bridge or something like that. And we know how the local historian Roger Cummel loves his covered bridges, so I thought I would get out and take a quick little video. Just kinda, you know, it's very reminiscent of the past. There's something magical, Mark Twainish about this. I remember when I was on this, I saw, if this is the same bridge, there might be another one. I was on a boat as a kid, and I remember there was teenagers or whatever up on the roof of that, jumping off into the water. That little drawing right there, that'll never grow old, eh?
Like I say, we showed Willie before, but Premier Hatfield. Okay, January 8th. Dear Willie, on Christmas Day, I sit right down to read this little book.
Yeah, I remember reading something like that before, but I did press record. To the local historian Roger Cummel, I'm having a glass of apple juice. It's been a long time since I had a glass of apple juice on this little project, Raj. Yeah. Okay, so we are on number 35 today. We're in the local historian Roger Cummel's basement once again. Raj is looking sharp. He's got nice black on. Oh. I'm with my go-to. This has been my Miramichi sweater for the last 4 months since I've been home visiting from Vancouver. I've definitely worn this bad boy the most, but it's a windy, cold day, and this is a good one.
From dancing.
Oh, you were dancing already today.
Dancing
I was wondering why you looked
at the Eco Center.
I was wondering why you looked all spiffed up. Oh, so the Eco Center has those afternoon dances right on.
Just 3.
Yeah,
3 during the afternoon during the year. Today was the spring dance.
Oh yeah.
There's one for Christmas and one for Valentine's Day. We had a real good turnout today.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
It's a healthy thing that you guys are doing, Raj. So you guys would have just heard or seen some covered bridges. I was out driving home from Moncton. I went to meet a softball coach. He's 72. He's in the Canadian Softball Hall of Fame. He's a brilliant-minded coach. Won 2 national titles with New Brunswick teams. So I contacted him 5 years ago, and it was a really in-depth conversation, and it was a great conversation. So I was happy about that. And then so I got a covered bridge on the way home near Rexton, which was really cool because Raj loves his covered bridges. Then we were at the Miramichi kitchen party with Paul McGraw. We were looking around his shop. So he introduced the song, Maddie's Cove, that they had written. Paul and Connie with another guy. He introduced it. And then as I'm speaking right now, I don't know what the video of that song is yet because I haven't gone for a drive yet with the song playing. So I'm definitely going to do it in Logieville because that's where Maddie's from. Try to get some water in there. And then Raj, we were going in blind today. A Raj tray. I just went out and I yanked one out, and it had the year 90, 91, and 92 written on it. There's 3 different folders within one of the Raj trays. And then, so we're going to do 1991 Raj. And you know, we're just going to go for it. So tomorrow I'm going to take some video. It'll be a surprise. So that'll be on the Wednesday show. Tomorrow, or no, that would be on the tomorrow show. We're going to start with, I'll keep that to myself just in case it doesn't happen. Last episode, I held up a photo. It had 4 fiddlers on there with Samantha Robichaud. I said 5. Everybody could count 4. Yeah, I get it. I also said Greg Morris instead of Greg Malone. Again, that's the second time I've done that. It must be some sort of a Freudian slip type of thing. I did question whether or not Rocket Rashore was the first guy to score 50. Yes, he was. And did he do it in 50 games, which I also kind of thought so. Yes, he did. Jake Break, we still got, it's not Jimmy Craig, so we did make one correction, it's Jamie Craig, but we still, I've asked a few people, and we just can't think of the other guy. Our apologies, that's terrible. You guys are Miramichi legends, everybody should know. So my apologies, and Roger is all spiffed up, being yanked in all directions. We're planning a Roger opening to this Miramihistorchi. I don't know what episode it's going to be, but we'll keep that under covers of how we're going to begin one of those future shows. Raj, I figure we got about 3 weeks left before I head back to Vancouver, so let's just try to pack in some stuff.
Do you think they're looking for a surprise?
Well, no, we just leave it at that. We don't want to.
Okay.
But it'll be Roger Como involved
All right.
heavily. So how are we going to start here today, Raj?
We're going to start off with a little info from all the RAF races.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody here is recognized about the RAF races.
Oh, right
Bill
on.
Hogan's artist.
Yeah, so Bill Hogan was the cartoonist, Miramichi leader cartoonist. I don't know his history. I don't know, Bill Hogan's time frame, but I do remember Bill Hogan's cartoons. And this was from the Miramichi leader, May 1st, 1991. Hogan's cartoon joins some good company. Chatham cartoonist Bill Hogan is keeping good company these days. One of his works has been included in Best Editorial Cartoons of the Year of the 1991 edition. And there is his cartoon. What is this and what does it say? I see the American flag, the Americans, but there's no caption. Okay, so there was a Canadian flag. Oh, it's a boat with some pirate-looking guys with an American flag, and in behind they're towing a little ship with Canadian flag sticking out. So right on. And those cartoonists, I actually, Raj, one of the most, I would say, one of the books I've passed on to some of my clients and stuff the most has been from a cartoonist out of the Texas area, and it's called, oh God, I can't remember the name of it. But it's really good, and it's a cartoonist with his philosophy, with some of his drawings, and I'll think of it and I'll share it later.
I'll share this here. It's a
Okay.
Miramichi story.
Okay, this is from '91. We've spoken about another Miramichi on the Chatham side, Andre Desprez, that ran into some an injury back in the late '80s in a high school hockey game. Well, here's another guy. This guy was on the Newcastle side. His name was Willis Hair, and there he is with a cast around, or brace around his neck. And I don't remember the fate of him. It says approximately, this was a benefit held for Hair. Approximately 50 bowlers raised $1,196.50 for Willis Hair at a special benefit held April 28th. The money will be deposited in the savings account for the 20-year-old man who was paralyzed in a diving accident last summer. Right, it wasn't a hockey thing, it was a diving accident. Mabel Hair is Willis's mother. She has just returned from visiting her son at the Lyndhurst Hospital in Toronto, where he is undergoing therapy to expand the use of his limbs. So there it is, folks. One of those, kind of tragic accidents that, completely alters the life path of a young person.
Okay, now we're going to go to Willie Farah.
Yeah.
He has 2 poems written to him from the Premier Hatfield. And Hatfield had passed away there.
Oh, yeah.
And he got these poems, so Hatfield just recognizes Willie's brilliance of his poems, so maybe you can read one of these poems there.
Okay, so from January.
Hatfield's doing Willie. But
Oh yeah, so so Farah treasures 2 poems written to him by Hatfield. So Hatfield's replies mimic Farah. So if anybody doesn't know, Willie Farah was a local poet, entertainer, interesting character kind of guy. I just learned about him through this project. Roger used to be a part of a thing called the Sanatoria Club, and Willie Farah was a member of that, and he would go around, and he was also like at banquets and stuff, and just like the kind of the local poet.
you have to do the Willie logo though, right? When you start there,
What is this? Yeah.
uh,
The what?
the Willie logo, the broken.
Oh yeah. Well, so it's very like, okay, so the way it's written, I'm reading this for the first time, so it's kind of hard to read because it's spelled in ways that you're wanting an accent maybe of a
So-
French person.
So Hatfield, he's trying to mimic Willie.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the former Premier Richard Hatfield of New Brunswick mimicking Willie Farah via a poem that mimics a Willie Farah poem. Okay, if that makes any sense. I'm going to read the short one here. On Christmas Day, I sit right down to read this little book. It mak me laugh so very hard, I no can turnkey cook. Instead, I say, Willie, my friend, you rely hab da gif. Therefore, I want to take the time. I want to take the time to thank you wholeheartedly for sending me this little book and being mon ami throughout the year to come, you bet. Your thoughts I'll circulate. The reason is quite simple, friend. Your humor, she be great. Best wishes for the new year. And sorry if I butchered that. And sorry if any, but yes, it's written that way. So if anybody can't take that the way it was, then my goodness, are we ever getting soft in our society? Nobody can take any jokes anymore. Well, Raj, thanks for sharing that. That's great.
Okay, we're going to have some recognition here for some people.
Oh, right on. This is great. Flieger, McLean, and Young receive awards. We got Marjorie McLean, Harold Flieger, and BJ Young. We have a great trio of Miramichiers right there on the Chatham side, because that's what we favor in Miramihistorchi, because we're on the Chatham side. We're Lowvillers. This is written by Dave Butler, and this is from April 24th, 1991. My mother had to hike to Chatham when she was a teenager to get an earring from this woman. Ice cubes, needle, Dax McLean and Jason and Dean and Jeff's mom. Okay, so special awards have been presented to Harold Flieger, Marjorie McLean, and BJ Young. The presentations took place. Flieger, who has been active in many roles for some 25 years, received the new Canadian Amateur Hockey Association's 3M Coach Recognition Award. Okay, Marge McLean received the Ian Bailey Memorial Award in honor of the late volunteer who did a great deal for the council before his death. And BJ Young was only 17 at the time. He's a great Miramichier to this day, involved with many things, and has been a great member of society for all those years. He was 17, and he received the Pat Keown Award in honor of one of the founding fathers of the local rec council and superior hockey player in the late 30s and 40s. It is presented annually to a graduating student who has made the greatest contribution to the program during his minor hockey years. So good for you. We already said it before. There's some free pills out there, and one of them is volunteering. Volunteer your time for the right ways, and guess what? You will feel the benefits of mental health. You will feel better, and it is free. It takes work, but it's free.
Here's a real interesting story here about the lad shooting coyotes.
Oh, wow. Hare captures coyotes, March 8th, 1991. This is from the collection of the local historian, Mr. Aroge Como. The man is going from dancing at lunch to dog sitting all day to cutting out newspaper clippings at night to snow blowing and shoveling and raking and sweeping, and he just keeps it moving. Strathaddam hunter Wes Hair, his brother, and 3 friends have shot 34 coyotes since Christmas. They find deer kills and then wait for the predators to return. Anyone who hunts deer, I figure, should be out hunting coyotes in their spare time, says Hare. They owe it to the deer. So there it is, folks. I'm sure there was a good reason why so many coyotes needed to be put down. And I know there's probably some reasons why people are going to jump to conclusions. Remember Chesterton's fence. You come across an old fence, your first instinct is to say rip it down, but hey, just before you say that, always figure out why it's there before you decide to take it down.
We have a roast. A roast.
Here's a roast, folks, from the Leader, March 13th, 1991. Dawson roast brings smile and laughter. Ladies and gentlemen, the late, great Paul Dawson, great Miramichi volunteer, politician, lots of work in the local softball community. Senator Brenda Robertson and Paul Dawson share smiles during a roast in Dawson's honor Friday night. Robertson and Dawson were ministers in the former PC government of Richard Hatfield, and Dawson, who has long been associated with softball, breaks into laughter during the event at the Newcastle Lions Center. So right on, nothing like a good old roast, folks.
Okay, we're gonna fit this article in shortly after Willie Farah thing there.
Okay, and here is said. We just mentioned Hatfield in this and the Paul Dawson roast. Hatfield was the guy, the former premier, that just wrote the poem to Willie Farah, and Hatfield is from the Miramichi.
Oh,
No, that's wrong. Sorry, that's totally Richard B. Hatfield. Died in 1991. Here's some photos of this man. He was a conservative. There they are, folks. He's outside of a nice vehicle there. Might as well throw the Queen in there. Why not? There he is. And what does this say? This says that Richard Bennett Hatfield, one of the most controversial and flamboyant premiers in Canadian history, died Friday morning in Ottawa. He was only 60 years old. Born in Woods, that's 12 years older than I am right now. Holy crap. Okay, so he was born in Woodstock. He was a PC conservative premier of New Brunswick from 1970 until 87. That's 17 years, folks, if you're a math major, and you can follow me on that. Through the years, he gave New Brunswickers much to talk about. Yeah, right on. So there it is, folks. Richard Hatfield died in the year 1991.
Okay, we got a little story here on Fred Irving and his family. And Fred's still attending dances at the Knights of Columbus here.
Oh, right on.
This year. So this is about his young lady getting back from military duty.
Okay.
There.
Karen, Tony, and Fred Irving relax at home. Ribbons of welcome. Family welcomes Irving home. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that great photo. Man being welcomed home from service. Ribbons to welcome. There were posters welcome Master Seaman Tony Irving. They were yellow. They were strung along the pine trees and along the entranceway around the garage, even up to the roof of the house. Balloons and bows were tied in the mailbox, and inside their cozy yellow home, there were big bouquets of yellow flowers. Streamers and banners with "Welcome Home Tony" on them hung in various places in the home. Posters were made and signed by the family, waiting for Tony to arrive. And finally, after leaving Halifax on New Year's Day for the Persian Gulf, Master Seaman Anthony Tony Irving of Millbank arrived home to a group of 35 family and friends waiting for him. Wow, right on. And on a side note, Raj, there's a young guy that I speak to at the gym. His name is Chris. I'm impressed by him. He can handle a conversation. He just finished his second year of university. He's really taking in the world, and I have a good vibe about him. He's in the university for the right reasons, and he just finished his second year. I think he's a history major at UNB, or maybe at St. Thomas, and he just told me today that he will be going to Kingston, to the Royal Military College to continue his studies.
Yeah.
So I was like, right on, and so I was happy to hear that. I thought it would be a good move for a young person to kind of get away, get out there, he's looking at the world. So I say good luck to you, Chris.
Okay, we got a real nice front page photo of our our archers.
Oh, right on. Oh yeah, this is Rona Mure. Is it supposed to be Rhonda, or it is Rona, right?
Rona, yeah.
Look at there. There's a Miramichi weekend, folks. Look at that great photo. Looks so beautiful in this. This is Rona Mure. She is a gold medalist in archery. We covered in one episode. This is from the March 15th, 1991 episode. We're looking like Happy St. Paddy's Day. St. Patrick's Day is Sunday, and Rona Mure, co-owner and manager of Dream Weavers in downtown Chatham, is ready. She's all decked out in an Irish hat, bow tie, vest, and corsage. All items, including the balloons she is holding, are found in the store, which specializes in specialty products for all occasions. Beautiful photo from a local gold medal national champion in archery, Rona Mure. Right on, really cool.
Okay, let's just kind of mention this young lad here, something that he took on here.
Well, that's cool.
His father worked with me at the
Yeah,
mill.
yeah. I think he was related to Jim too, right?
Pinsky, yeah.
The old Calgary Flames, big centerman.
Yeah.
Okay. So understanding Tyson. This is really cool. This is local newspaper, 1991. What's 24 and 9? 33 years ago, and we had Poplinski examines physics, biology of knockout punches. Stephen Poplinski is right there. Local student was studying the physics of a knockout punch, how it is delivered, and Mike Tyson was one of his study. Of course, it would have been Tyson in the 90s. Stephen Poplinski was disappointed when boxer Razor Ruddock lost to Mike Tyson in Monday's boxing match, but now he has a better understanding of why. The referee thought Ruddock was hurt after Tyson landed a left hook and right to his skull. The punches sent Ruddock reeling across the ring. Poplinski has been studying knockout punches for his project in the District 8 Senior and Junior High Science Fair. The fair is set for Wednesday at the Newcastle Lions Center. So really cool. And Mike Tyson just does not go away, folks. He is still right on. Steve, I wonder where you are now. He was related in some way. Roger worked with his father.
Yeah.
And what was his father's name?
Oh, wait, no, Poplinski.
Not to put you on the spot.
Nickname.
Not to put you on the spot, but anyway,
we just call him Pepe.
Pepe. So Poplinski was related to the Jim Poplinski that was on the 89 Stanley Cup winning Calgary Flames.
Yeah.
And he wore a letter too. He was a good, big, solid, tough player.
Well, this is all about the closing of St. Mary's Convent in Newcastle.
Oh, yeah.
We can just kind of go a little quick
Okay.
there.
Memories of St. Mary's, and Roger is, French. We're French. The Roman Catholicism is part of the culture, and Roger is going to cut out anything that has to do with the big moments, and this is Memories of St. Mary's. It was St. Mary's Convent in Newcastle closed its doors this summer. The building is for sale. We spoke to former students about the school, and it was in 1991. There's some class photos. Look at what was going on, and then this is covered in the Miramichi Leader 1991. Who are these former students? Well, none other than Marilyn Gallant, Rosemary Stewart, and Jane Hayden. And that was the students acting in a play in 1949. Very, very Catholic looking in nature. And there are some former students reminiscing about what went down inside. And there's a really cool photo right there. Yeah. Girls were close. Okay.
Okay, a little bit of history about Newcastle baseball field when it was built
Oh, yeah.
back in 1990 out in
The Fly Dome.
yeah. And then you just
Oh,
say-
yeah.
say where
Yeah, you know what? It's like, you know, and we're not pointing fingers. We're here to have some fun. For those of you out there that may be rolling your eyes at a little bit of this, well, you have the right to do that, but we're doing this as a community building project. We're just trying to go back into the recent past, share some stories about some things. But this was from April 17th, 1991. Mahoney spur work on field. So this was a ball field, okay, that was built out by the racetrack in Newcastle, just on the outskirts out there. And it was, you know, everybody was, you know, I know it's easier to rip something down than it is to create it. I understand that, and not trying to be too critical, but kind of nobody liked that place. It was just a bad vibe of a ball field. And it doesn't seem to matter. Okay, so both are Newcastle, McAllister and Mahoney are members of the executive, the Newcastle Cardinals Senior Baseball Club. McAllister has been head of the fields, and Mahoney Community Spirit are looking forward. So, okay, the new field was promised last year by Mayor Murphy and then turned over to Clary Hale. Construction was undertaken over the summer with the erection of 7-foot chain link fence along the baselines. Concrete dugouts and canteen area were also constructed. The well was drilled. Robert Stewart, Gerald Burns inspected dugouts, and now that field is. I haven't been back there in so long, but I don't. There might be some remnants. I don't know.
Well,
but
baseball will come back out to the city again.
Yep.
In town.
In town, in behind Harkins, and Roger and I were talking about that. We were saying that, you know, we're baseball fans first and foremost. We love the ambiance of a park that a community can kind of gather around. And it's important, as you know, the Chatham Ironman Park is a great example of that, Raj?
Yeah.
It's in town. People just go to it. It has a special ambiance to it, and people feel it.
Okay, we have excavations at the Enclosure Park. Well, that should cover it there.
I was thinking of going to get some video
Yeah.
out at the Old Enclosure. When's the last time you were there?
Probably last year.
Oh, okay.
Just driving through.
Okay. 1990 excavations at Enclosure Park. This is from the March 6, 91 edition of the Leader. William Davidson's grave at the Enclosure, Wilson's Point, is the oldest British burial ground on the Miramichi River, overlooking the junction of the northwest and southwest branches. Beaubears Island is in the background. And how many Miramichiers out there? How many of you Miramichiers out there still don't know the difference between the northwest and the southwest? That's my question.
So here's one of the diggers.
Oh, right on. The Enclosure dig. Team expected May 27th. We're going to concentrate on Acadian dwellings. Michael Nicholas surveys with a plumb bob, folks. There he is. There's Michael Nicholas surveying with a good old plumb bob, Raj. I like my laser level. I use that a lot when I'm trying to get my point, but there's a good old plumb bob will never fail you, will it?
No.
It will never fail you. Archaeologists are planning to return to the provincial enclosure park in Derby Junction on May 27th. This year, they're also planning something a bit different in a historical garden. The idea is to grow vegetables and fruits as were done by the early settlers, Marc Lavoie said in a telephone interview from Fredericton. So right on.
Okay.
Beautiful area in our city if you have never been there.
Now we have something on Pinder Family.
Oh, right on.
Newcastle.
Cool. Hockey, it says hockey, a tradition for the Pinder family. Jack Pinder, Eddie Pinder, and Peter Pinder. Anybody that was around Miramichi, Gagnon, Packer time remembers those two dudes. I was just telling Raj, I remember we'd be out playing road hockey as kids. I was just a kid during that whole Packer thing. And two local Logievillers, Jamie Watling and Larry McDonald, they were big reasons as to why they won that championship. But anyway, we'd making jokes saying Peter Pinder, Eddie Pinder. We were pretending we were the Pinder boys. Not, no disrespect. For the Pinder family in Newcastle, hockey is a family tradition. It began with Jack and followed with his sons Eddie and Peter. Each has made a positive contribution to the area's hockey scene. So right on, father-son hockey, like many other stories across this great land of ours. And speaking of father-son hockey, Roger Como, the local historian, two-time scoring leader in the Industrial League, 71-72, I think. Didn't get it the next year due to lack of games, a couple of cancellations. He didn't get his games in. He thinks he would have won it. He was right there. And then he just, to come back the next year, he showed them all that he was no flash in the pan and won that scoring title the second time.
Okay, there's a provincial title here for some young fellas.
Okay, and then here's the father-son combo. Chatham Ironmen win provincial title. The Adam Ironmen won the Zone D Provincial Hockey Championship in Beresford on the weekend. And ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing better than a good old championship team picture right there. This is Josh Como, Roger's middle child, when he was in Adam. And who was on this roster? Well, let's read her out. They are Bradley Williston. He was the goaltender all the way up through that age group and was very successful. Todd Boyle. Roger always liked Todd Boyle on the ice. He was a hard-working forward. He never gave up, Raj? He was a hard worker. Jeffrey Lampke was an assistant captain. You can see him still around the rink. He just can't get away from rinks. He just wants to spend time in those rinks. He's still working for this. He is working for the city. He played great hockey around here, and he was also a very excellent player, hard working. Paul Huxma, trying to get a hold of his dad, Wolfgang. Marty Mowbray, Mark Simpson, son of Craig, and oh my God, I forget her name. Nancy. Mark Sproul. He's the younger brother of Jason Sproul, who I would put on any Miramichi team in my my top lineup to win a championship of all teams that have ever come out of Miramichi. Jason Sproul's on my defense, Raj. Matthew Lyons, Bradley Nolan, and in the back row we have Bruce McDonald, who was the coach. Sean Clancy, oh yeah. Mike Matchett was also Josh's, they played defense together throughout their whole hockey career. Hans Anderson was the captain of that team. Josh Como wearing the A. Matthew Menard, he was a CFB Chatham kid. His father was a doctor. Michelle Daigle talked to his father Paul at the gym once in a while. And Brian Sullivan, ran into Brian Sullivan at that house concert a couple of weeks ago that I went to with our sponsor Amanda. Ron McCormack was the assistant coach. Sandy Dixon was the manager. And there he is, folks, none other than Joshua Arthur Como from Highfield Street in Logieville, son of Roger, and he was always a great defenseman. Him and Amanda are laying on the couch right now. Amanda Flera is watching episode number 35, Raj, as you and I are probably nursing another beer, getting ready for episode number 36. Because we're doing Amanda's on the night shift now, so we got later sessions scheduled now.
I think this is Nolan Ryan's final no-hitter.
Oh, wow.
Of 7.
I remember this, yeah. Nolan Ryan no-hits the Jays. He strikes out 16. He was he was 44 years old. I am now 4 years older than that man right there at that time. Nolan Ryan no-hit the Jays. He struck out Roberto Alomar to end that game. I remember it. And that was his 7th no-hitter. I think Sandy Koufax is second in line with 4. And it probably says that all in here, but I'm a big baseball fan. Nolan Ryan is carried off the field by his Texas teammates after tossing his 7th career no-hitter Wednesday against the Blue Jays. Really, really special pitcher. And for those of you baseball fans that have not seen it yet, there is a really excellent Nolan Ryan documentary on Netflix, and it covers his whole career, but it covers his family life and stuff, and how deep and how to the core of a man he really is. He is capable, put it that way. Oh, right on. Look, I played, thank you, it says. Look at that, May 1st, 1991. Look at what Roger Como is sharing with us, folks. He is, because this man has cut out clippings and saved pamphlets and brochures, it's connected us. We've been able to do this project, and he has sharing another one right here. It deserves a lot of credit. This is Kathy, or was it Katie? Kathy McCormack would like to say thank you to Marilyn and Carl Carter of Petrocan. Also, any other person or group who contributed in any way to her success in Verdun, Quebec, at the Nationals, or the Canada Winter Games in PEI. This woman right here was a great hockey player from our region. I think she was from the Blackville, Renews area. She went on to play for Team Canada, and she was located in Fredericton at the same time as the captain of Team Canada was, Therese Brison. Yeah. And they used to come out and play some shinny with us, and she was so cool. She was really fun to play with and had a good smile on her face and was a good player.
Well, we got
of course
AAA Bantams from both sides of the river.
Oh, right on. Okay. This is back in the day when the Miramichi was able to ice two AAA Bantam teams, 90-91, March 20th, and there is the Newcastle version of the Bantam AAA Beavers, I think they were. Let's read that out. Jason McTavish, Jason Mullen, Gordy Ross, David Morrison, David Stewart, Justin Buggy, Wade Trevors, and Ryan Ahern in net. Played ball against and with him. So did Raj. David Hale was the assistant coach. Terry Wood, assistant coach. Shannon McCrae, Stephen Dunaher, Todd Sobey, Gordon Welch, Brad Sobey, Jason Whalen, Darcy Manderson, Trevor Butler, and Mike LeBlanc. And kneeling, who was the captain back there? That's the back row. I think that's, who was after Todd Sobey? There's Stephen Dunaher. No, Todd Sobey, Gordon Welch, Brad Sobey. Gordon Welch. Okay, that's Todd Sobey right there, folks. Todd Sobey was a really, really talented hockey player, and just he was real strong, and what an interesting guy if you ever get to meet him. The Chatham Ironman, Bantam AAA, and this is the Chatham side in 90-91. Raj, these are guys that are just a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
Maybe it was my age. A year older. Gary Traer was in net. Lawson McDonald was also in net, though they're my age. Zimmer, Jeff Stymus, Craig McCormack. Dax McLean was the captain of that team, and Jason Sproul. Sprouley was the other A. Jacques Richard, great player out of the Bay. Nathan Menard from CFB. Brian Kerr, kind of a very sneaky, crafty, small, good defenseman. And Jason Hackett was also in net. Harold Flieger was the coach. Brent Trevor's always a good goal scorer. Scott Stewart, excellent hockey player, I thought had pro qualities. Brian Harriman, Martin Daigle, Dwayne Chasson, David McDonald, Mark Barry, never took a shift off, folks. Kevin Sullivan, Dane Hambrook, and Paul O'Hara. I remember this team. There is Craig McCormack right there. Craig McCormack is, where is he? Right where my pen is. Craig is Roger's neighbor, like literally next door neighbor over the fence. Craig is a local entrepreneur, and when he played hockey, tough, feisty, right shot, great shot, strong, and scored a lot of goals. And he's a great neighbor, eh, Raj?
Oh, the best.
Can't beat Craig McCormack for a neighbor. And you know what? During COVID, my father passed away. Just that's why I'm home right now. But when he was first diagnosed with his brain cancer, I had to come back, and it was during that whole COVID debacle, and I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. Roger's neighbor, my parents' neighbor, Craig McCormack, set up his RV, and I was able to stay in there for 2 weeks, and it was so amazingly done. I had a nice shower and king-size bed and internet, and it was amazing, so I'll never forget that. Okay, so November 9th, that's Miramichi for you folks. November 91, Sports Wall of Fame, McLaughlin Butler among Shrine inductees. So into the Wall of Fame in 1991, Cuffy McLaughlin and Dave Butler go in. I'm assuming Cuffy goes in as a player, Butler in as a organizer or builder, and Cuffy, I was too young to see Cuffy McLaughlin play baseball, but no, he hit as many home runs and was as good a power hitter in Ironman history than anybody, they say.
Well, he was right in the mix with Phil Dwyer, Alan Moncton, and Scott Harvey in Fredericton.
Oh yeah, so they were home run hitters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Was Cuffy a catcher?
Hey, yeah.
He was a catcher, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So right on, and his son is Todd, and I haven't seen him in a long time.
Okay, we got a trio
Yeah.
of card collectors.
Oh.
So we kind of just go a little quickly there.
Yep.
But I think the main card collector is Alan Basie and Ann.
Oh yes. If
Yeah,
anybody has a chance to get inside that guy's collection,
Yeah.
it's
so-
world class. It's second to nobody.
So we're going to start off with this kid here.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So in the cards, this is from the Miramichi Leader, April 17, 1991, McKenzie Among Sports Card Collectors. This is by Kathy Carnahan. Kyle McKenzie and his baseball album. Look how cute this little guy looks right there. Kyle McKenzie. And there's some of his baseball cards. So what was going on here, Raj? He was 6 years old. Kyle McKenzie expects to be worth a lot of money someday, and I wonder if that was prophetic. Like many children, he collects hockey and baseball cards. It's the latest fad. It's not new, however, many a child. Okay, so right on, he has, you know what? And there it is. I recognize this card right down in the corner right there, folks. That is a Gary Carter, the kid. He was a Montreal Expo, wore number 8, and he's in the Hall of Fame as a catcher. Won the World Series with the 1986 Mets, and he came back to Montreal. He was very comfortable in front of the camera, and oddly enough, Raj, I just spoke about my dad's brain cancer. Gary Carter died of the same thing, glioblastoma.
Okay, here's the next guy. I'm from Newcastle.
They must, oh, right on.
Brent McKay.
Brent McKay has thousands of cards in his collection. Look at this young guy from Newcastle, Miramichi Leader, folks. They're covering. This was Connecting Communities, really excellent. Times are so different, of course. Brent McKay of Newcastle was roused out of bed by a knock on the door of his room in Sackville. McKay opened his door to find a uniformed RCMP officer standing on the other side. However, all the officer wanted was to buy some cards. McKay has been dealing in baseball, hockey, and basketball cards at Mount Allison University, since after Christmas. So this was a picture of him, right on. So he was at Mount A, running a little business out of the room. Police officer knocked on the door and was looking for a Gretzky rookie and a Paul Coffey rookie as well.
So here's the third lad, and that's the $1,000 card there. When you
Oh, right on. And here's another one. This is from the Miramichi Leader, April 24th. What's the date today? Is today the 24th?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't pay attention to that.
We don't know what the date is? Of course not. Roger's a local historian. Why would he be interested in dates? Okay, so it's Comics Plus owner Egbert Roussel in his kiosk at Northumberland Square, and he was collecting cards. You know, this was when the cards were happening. So there he is over at the Northumberland Square. For any of you people that have not looked up for the last 7 years because you were scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, the Northumberland Square is the old shopping mall that's over, I think Giant Tiger's connected with, there was a Zellers in there, a Kmart, there was a coffee mill, what else? And then this guy had a kiosk, so he was a card collector as well, right on. I wonder if these guys are still into the cards and collection.
So guess what followed these guys?
These guys were followed by what kind of a collector?
These cards were being traded.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's the latest. This is from March 29th, 1991. Trading Cards of the War. Sell fast on the Miramichi, folks. I had no idea this was going on. Who wants a General Norman Schwarzkopf Persian Gulf Were you surprised I knew who that was?
Rick, oh yeah.
That's Stormin' Norman, man.
Yeah.
I remember Chris Farley played him on Saturday Night Live, and he was like Stormin' Norman.
Well, we gotta mention this good ball player from Nelson.
Oh, right on. There's a graduation from 1991. And there's Mr. Todd Fitzpatrick, one of my coffee breaks. He's a Nelson guy. He coached some girls basketball, my sister and stuff, and he played softball, and he was a second baseman in a really tough out. And he got her done. And Todd, this is no disrespect, but you were a little unorthodox in your way, but you always got it done. You earned my respect. Todd Gerald Fitzpatrick was awarded his Bachelor of Education degree from the University of New Brunswick, Fredericton at the Fall Convocation in October 91. He is the son of Mrs. Eileen and the late Gerald P. Fitzpatrick of Nelson, Miramichi. I always thought Todd was a gentleman, and one of my coffee breaks since I've been home, Raj, on this before I leave, I went over to Carrefour Beausoleil one day to have some coffee, and Todd Fitzpatrick walked in, and he had a good suit on. He looked good.
Yeah, okay. This is one of your favorite singers here.
Oh, right on. This is my favorite singer. What are you talking about? One of my favorites. Ladies and gentlemen, from the April 19th, 1991 edition of the Miramichi Leader, Lockhart's Beaver Lumber joint venture partner, Mr. Bob McCullum. And this was on the Bridge Road, and there is a picture of Bob McCullum. And I, one of the people that I sit and have some breakfasts with since I've been home is his son, Mike. And I remember Mike used to work over there. Lockhart's Beaver Lumber is pleased to announce the joint venture partnership of our Chatham Head, New Brunswick store with Bob McCullum effective April 1st, 1991. So right on, Mr. Bob McCullum, and he sang his Miramichi song. Oh my God, Miramichi Pride. What's the name of that song? Sorry. Anyway, Bob, I want to get over there and get another video of you performing another song here soon before I leave.
So this is all the high school's awards here?
Yeah.
We just name those tokens.
Okay.
The pictures are there.
Conkey and McNamara chosen. This is Lynn Conkey and Marty McNamara. They were the athletes of the year in 1991 at James M. Hill. I remember Marty played some hockey. He might have been the captain of the Tommies. Female athlete Lynn Conkey, out of Nappen. She was a force on the basketball court and the field hockey field. I don't know what we're calling it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
We got an excellent rendition here of the Kingsmen Club in Newcastle.
Oh, right on.
And, it's a really, really nice article.
Okay.
All information's all inside of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Kingsmen Club of Newcastle welcomes you too. And the name, okay, now see, this is when times were way more fun. See, we could say things like this without getting canceled. So look at what they had on the front page. So this was March 22nd, 1991. This was called the Bullsit 91, the sequel. So there's the Bullsit right there, folks. The Kingsmen Club of Newcastle. Zone 6 Convention, Newcastle, the sequel, Spring Zone. Now, the Kingsmen, I learned a little bit of the Kingsmen. I have a great friend here on the Miramichi. He's a member of the Kingsmen, and he tells me what they're all about. And they are all about being community builders and doing good work for a lot of good things. And I absolutely know what I'm looking through here, but I already see the photo. I think we should, there's a lot of, okay, this is actually pretty cool, Raj. Yeah. So this fine gentleman right here, Paul McGraw, was just on the beginning of the show. He's Connie and Paul, folks, and Raj and I were just in his shop. It's a great shop, and his music was played.
Their shop is a musical museum.
A musical museum. It's the Miramichi Kitchen Party. For those of you that have never gone in there, it's a really, really excellent shop in our city. Here's another Kinsman, Tom King. There's Tommy King. This is from 91. Raj, this is excellente. I like this. And if I ever found myself back on the Miramichi, I would think about... okay, here's Gordon Butler. Look at this, folks. Look at these fine men, It takes, Miramichi has always produced good men. Here's another kinsman, Gord. Is it Nielsen or Nelson? Gord Nelson, folks. Look at this guy right here, doing some good work in a men's group to make our community better and stronger, volunteering some time. Here's another kinsman, Jerry Doucette. Look, folks, look at that guy right there. He knows how to play auction 45, let me tell you. And there's a couple of other fine gents. That's Bill Foran and Roger Augustine, of course. Great photo right there. There's a Sunday night bingo. I think they do all the bingo online now, Raj. Yeah. There's a Sunday night bingo. The Kinsmen are still doing bingo. Here's Melvin Way, Raj. You know any? Have you ever known any Kinsmen?
He worked at the pulp mill.
Did you know, do you know what the Kinsmen were all about and stuff?
No.
Here's James Parashuk. This is all. Here's James Parashuk. This, and then
Barber.
Bill Foran and Randy Christie.
Yeah, radio man.
And then what's K40? He must have been in it for 40 years. Rupert Kethrow. Yeah. Rupert Kethrow, Bill Foran, and Randy Christie. And I know this is a bit cumbersome, guys, but we're giving homage here to the Kinsmen. Crime Stoppers. And here's another one, Tom Paisley.
Yeah, he's a mill guy.
He's another guy that worked at the mill. This is a men's group that does community building projects. They raise money and they give it to people that are in need. It's a special organization. Here's Ken McDonald. I remember him. I think he was the first coach when I went to play hockey in Chatham, Raj.
Yeah.
Ken McDonald. Here's another K40, Bernie Williams. Don't mistake him with the center fielder of the New York Yankees. And what else do we have? Another K40. I'm assuming that's a guy that's been in it for 40 years. Ralph Shanahan. You know, we're kind of at a time where men are being a little bit like, it's not the easiest time for a young man to be growing up in society, and these are great role models. And this is another kinsman, ladies and gentlemen, Mac Huskin. So Raj, that was really excellent, and thank you for sharing that. And just because I learned about what the Kinsmen were all about in the past few months, I thought that was a great little surprise to have.
Yeah. Okay.
Big Al.
The rest of this year is all about this guy here, so we're not going to really do any discussions about that.
Is this 91? This is for some reason this is 89.
Yeah, it all started back then and just kept on going up through the years. Eh?
Okay, so that's an 89.
Yeah, shows an 89. Yeah.
So they must have got mixed up.
That must have been.
Okay, but anyway, this was in the This was in the wrong folder, and it's the only time. Remember when I said, Raj, we're going to make lots of mistakes, and then you said we'll make a few mistakes. It's those Cummos out in Napa, and they make more mistakes than anybody. Especially on the golf course. So Raj, this is one of the only filing mistakes that the local historian has ever made. We're doing 91 today, but this is from the 89. And look at the cover of the Miramichi Leader, November 29th, 1989. It says caught. There's Alan Legier, folks. Anybody that knows anything about the Miramichi knows about that story for sure. So we're at like 51. We're close to.
Close off with
yeah.
Kind of a reunion type of.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So you might know some of the players, but you show it real slow.
Do they have? They don't have a roster, right?
Well, it might be in
right here. I think right here. Okay.
All
yeah.
members,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do have a reunion team. This is 91.
Yeah, well, right here they're showing like 88, 89.
Oh, the Tommies.
The big story here.
Oh, the team. Okay, so in 1991, the James M. Hill Tommies hockey team turned 25. and there's a bunch of players mentioned. They are, okay, so the championship seasons for the James M. Hill Tommies were 66, 67, 67, 68, 68, 69, 69, 70. So they had 4 championships in a row. Times must have been great, and that's when music was cool. High school with bell bottoms were just kind of being thought about. Would have been a good time to be alive. 71, 72, 75, 76, 78, 79, 79, 80, 81, 82, and then 88 and 89 the Tommies won. So this is showing that team right here. I see Jason McLean in there. I see Terry Morris. I see Ricky Stymist. I think Bobby Moore is there. I think Dennis McLean is there. Chris Hambrook, I see. Kevin McLean, I think, was there. I think J.R. Hay was there. John Blakely. Who else is on that team? And I was a kid. So Mark Sustainus, Denny Schofield. And I think that's all I know, Raj. There's Bobby Moore.
No, over here.
Oh, there's Bobby Moore right there, yeah. I think that might be Mike Jazwinski or something. Kenny Martin and Greg Morris coaching. And there he is, folks. None other than the great Miramichi, Bobby Moore, still involved in the hockey world. Raj, you know how he is involved in the hockey world? He has a billet from the Timberwolves. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so Bobby Moore, I think I was talking to his sister Barb at one of the Timberwolves games, and I know he has a billet. Johnny's the father. Remind me of Bobby's mother's name. I don't want to put you on the spot in case you can't think of it. We might have to edit something out just to pretend we didn't forget about it. Our apologies. But you know what? That's actually, we were talking hockey cards before, and that's one of my first hockey card real experiences. So I'm a kid down in Logieville, and Uncle Raj picks me up and says, we're going up to Johnny Moore's house and we're going to trade some cards. And I got in, and I was all in there, oh my God, and Roger was orchestrating and all. I remember that, and we went up to trade cards with Bobby Moore. You guys nobody probably remembers that except me.
Totally.
Yeah. So is that it, Raj?
Yeah,
That is
for
it.
today.
So, I've I know Raj, I have to go back to Vancouver. I've been, since the death of my dad, I've been having a difficult time deciding, not only deciding, but where I am right now. My last 17 years were spent in Vancouver. I'm back with family, and this is the longest I've spent here. I understand the importance of all that. And I've had many conversations with people helping me out and like I've been talking about what I'm doing in my life right now. And I tell you what, I've spoken to many Miramichiers since I've been home and trying to get some advice and stuff. Roger's one of them. And what I've been so grateful for our great Miramichi people is that nobody's like telling me what to do or giving me advice. Like, they're listening. And steering me with little things, and nobody pretends to know anything. And that's what brings me to the great quote that I've read 8 or 9 times so far, and it's from David Adams Richards. It's a definition. It's one of his descriptions of a Miramichier. It comes from a book called Lines on the Water, his experiences of fishing the Miramichi. He's speaking about an older gentleman that he fished with, and this is what he says. He was and always will be the embodiment of a Miramichier, proud, conscious of others, fearless within the bounds of physical environment, full of humor, and yet somewhat shy. And I've mentioned it before, Raj. Raj exudes all of those qualities. I'm still working on them, and most Miramichiers that I'm running into do exude these qualities. I think it's a high compliment. Proud, of course, keep your head up, have some confidence. Conscious of others is, of course we're going to look out for our neighbor and, not step on toes when not needed. Fearless within the bounds of physical environment. Getting out, using your hands, knowing how to dig clams, knowing how to set up footings for a foundation, do whatever you're doing with your hands, getting out into the real world, full of humor. Miramichiers are always ready for the joke, and yet somewhat shy. There's a humility and a humbleness there. I have recognized it since I've been home, and I've been reconnecting with that and seeing how great Miramichi people are, Raj, and you're one of them, and it's been a good project.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how we're ending her?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to go, drink a beer and get all emotional with each other.
For the mistake?
Yeah, for the big mistake. Okay, we're just joking. See you later. We'll see you tomorrow.